Hi, Nidhi and Isha. Thank you for joining us today. I want to start off our conversation today just to say thank you so much for joining us today and talking to our audience members about the awesome work you do. So your organisation, Sakhi Saheli, does so much interesting and important work here in Victoria, especially within the Wyndham region. Do you want to tell us about what inspired you to find Sakhi Saheli and what sort of work you're doing at the moment?
Sure. So first of all, I'd like to say thanks for having us on, Shristi. It's actually really nice to just like collaborate with others and talk about what we do. So if you haven't heard of Sakhi Saheli, we established in 2018. So it's been a while now, and it's been a very a long, eventful, and a very inspiring journey. Nidhi and I started this organization when we realized that there's a lot of social isolation that Indian women are experiencing in the areas that we live in, which is in Wyndham. And we thought, what could we do to kind of bring them out of isolation and empower them? So we thought of, Nidhi and I are friends, and we're like, friendship always brings people together, especially women, because if you have similar mindset and values. So we started Women's Friendship Club. And that kind of went really great. Like we started in Thani, then we moved to 2 other suburbs. So it was really like getting big and big, and women were able to make their own connections. And we were able to do like skill work with them, like having games and having people come in and talk about like important stuff. So we were able to provide them a platform and a safe space where they were able to empower themselves and others and learn something valuable at the same time. And obviously like that led to the formalization of our organization, and we thought, okay, what is our mission, right? So we're like, okay, our mission is to increase empowerment in women through friendship, education, and resilience. And that's what we've been trying to do with our events and everything, like with our friendship club, in the events we've had in the past, like Women's Got Talent show, yoga workshops. And this year is the biggest year for us as well, which we'll talk about in a bit. And I think something else I want to point out is that Sakhi Saheli has women volunteers, and we support women only. And that is something really important to us because our volunteers have lived experiences of social isolation, disempowerment, and inequality, which is a big one. And they're able to provide the lived experiences and come up with creative, innovative ideas in what Sakhi Saheli can do. So that is a very important aspect of our organization, and that is also like a main drive for us to provide equality to women and, educate them about that as well. Yeah, so that pretty much is Sakhi Saheli, and that inspires us. So Nidhi, do you want to add anything? I'll hand it over
Yeah,
to you.
pretty much we grew from there, and now we have, in short form, 4 friendship clubs, which are currently closed because of COVID. And we have started other projects during COVID, which we'll go on details with.
Yeah.
Awesome. So obviously the pandemic and COVID has changed a lot of things for a lot of, wonderful organizations that do such important work like yourself, and has also caused, a lot of a social isolation, and that's the sort of work that you and you both do. So what are some projects, what are you working on at the moment during COVID times?
So as I said, because the Friendship Club closed down, and we are a pretty physical organization where we host events, all of that was shut down. We were a bit confused at the start, but we came up with a new project called The Holding Hands. After a lot of feedback from our Friendship Club everyday members, they still wanted to have the interaction with each other, still wanted to know what's going on. Maybe it's the same thing again and again. I'm drinking coffee, I'm making coffee, I'm drinking coffee, making coffee. So what we do is weekly we'd sit down, have a Zoom meeting. The one thing that we added with the Friendship Club every day kind of thing was a skill building, 15 to 20 minute to 30 minute kind of a presentation by a expert. So this actually allows them to grow during COVID and find a new skill or something that they're passionate about or talented about, and help them connect to, other employers or organizations that are slowed down. This kind of keeps it up and keeps it going. There's motivation, conversation still flows. We had a lot of women get interested in cooking. get interested in mental health has been growing up within women a lot. So that one really took off and people are really interested in reading about it and learning about it. And parenting is also another one that a lot of women want to explore into, going into the psychology of things. So it's kind of like exploded the skills and talents within women who are sitting at home doing nothing.
Fantastic. And of course, that sounds like absolutely fantastic work, and it's so important for all of us to sort of get on board. And or even both yourself, Nidhi, and Isha, you're both young women, doing this, and we need to be supporting more young women that sort of start up these organizations that make a really, really strong impact to our communities. So is there anything, do you think, that our audience that may be following us here can do to better engage and support you both?
I'll go first. We have gone global because of the organization being shut down. So what we're doing is not only that we are tackling mental health issues in Australia, we're also tackling menstruation issues back in India, because that has gotten worse due to COVID. So we have launched the Period Project, and the support that we can get from it is pretty much buy our merch, follow us, give a voice to the issues that we are providing on our Instagram page, and pretty much it takes 2 seconds to share a page. It takes 2 seconds to follow. So that's the support that we would get from the start. And yeah, I'll let Isha continue with the other support.
No, that's great. I think you did well with that. What I like just to add is with the Period Project, it involves a lot of awareness around menstruation. And we think that education around that would make a big impact in what our vision is and what impact we want to make. So obviously supporting that cause, starting the conversation, such as, sharing our posts like Nidhi said, messaging us if you have any questions, or if you want to volunteer with us, if you want to write for us. We would love any advocacy help, promotional events. In the end, that empowers girls and women, and obviously we would like to take that globally, which we have. We will be doing that in India, like promotion of menstruation health in India, and providing resources so girls have access to the right amount of resources, which is healthy. And obviously acceptance of menstruation, like taking away that taboo and like providing equal opportunities. So awareness is a big one. Please support us, share our stories, share our posts. We would really appreciate any support we get. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That sounds like that's a very, very important project, and that's something that is really, really important, especially within the South Asian community, promoting that sort of language as well around periods. So that's really fantastic. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Very pleasure. And we'd like to see you on our channel sometime too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shrishti.